interesting. You said you like comic book heroes.
Yeah.
Who are your favorite?
Green Lantern.
Green
Far and
Lantern.
away.
Okay.
I'll tell you something nerdy. I mean, this is really the nerdiest thing I can tell you.
Please share.
I lived close to my school where I went to elementary school was a 10-minute walk from my house.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I'd walk with my brother home, sometimes I'd walk alone and eat lunch there, which I guess I missed out on like 6 or 7 years of socializing and trading bologna sandwiches for Fritos as kids would do.
Right.
And I was kind of a loner, so it worked out that way. But I made this little Green Lantern ring. He had a ring that would allow him to make anything. And the moment I got off school grounds, I would slip it on and pretend I was Green Lantern and having adventures for the 10 minutes it took me to walk home. And of course on the walk back, and then pocket the ring and slip back into class like nothing had happened. Like Green Lantern's back in 3rd grade.
So you had like a secret identity.
For better or worse.
And you still have that ring on today.
Yeah, I made it out of a brass fastener and Green Lantern's chest emblem that I'd cut out of a newspaper.
Nice.
Cut out of a comic and glued on a little brass fastener, you know.
Very cool. I think superheroes are important. They have a very important service to our community. It just gives something, beside that, just something that really is escapism and giving people a chance to identify with a hero, because there's a lot of people that are not heroes in our life today, and we need to hang on to something like
Green
Superman.
Lantern is twice the man Shaquille O'Neal is, I'll tell you that. I want to go on record as saying it. He's fictitious, and he's still twice the man.
What is his power? Tell me a little bit about the Green Lantern story.
Green Lantern was given a ring by a dying alien who was kind of like a member of an intergalactic peace force. It's always like radiation or an alien. It's one or the other, aliens or radiation for all the superheroes. And I was given this green ring that gave him the power. Anything he could imagine. I think that's what really spoke to me is like, let's say it was a runaway bus or something like that. He would put out like a giant catcher's mitt, like this big green catcher's mitt, and stop the bus, or like there's a monster and you make a big boxing ring or make big boxing glove and knock him out, just stuff like that. Or somebody's falling off a cliff, he'd make a giant lifeguard, or an 8-story lifeguard and catch the person. It was just very it lent itself to whatever moment, whatever you could think of. It was all willpower based. So I just love that. It was limited only by the imagination.
Mm-hmm. And belief has the power that it would exist, and then it did. That's pretty good. I want one of those rings. They should make some new ones.
Al at Al's Comics, your neighbor right up the street, gave me, they had limited edition Green Lantern rings that they gave to each of the comic book shops for ordering Green Lantern comics from the distributor, and Al knows how much I love Green Lantern, and I went in there the other day, and he said, "Hey, I got something for you, buddy." I'm like, "What is it, Al?"
Oh, no.
Each comic shop got a Green Lantern ring. I'm like, Al! Oh my! And I was chosen. My gift to you. I'm like, it's pretty huge.
And he didn't wear it on the show today. It would have been perfect.
Are you kidding? I didn't even take it out of the packaging. That's that's in my hope chest.
Oh, that's right. A lot of comics do collect cartoon caricatures that you really can't take out of the package because then they're worth less.
Yeah.
Is that from the 40-Year-Old Virgin? We saw something like that.
Yeah, I tear right into them. I don't have anything still in the packaging. I'm not that sentimental about it. Or, I'm not that savvy with investing where it's like, oh, I can't believe you took it out of the packaging.
Very good. Yeah, you can't wait. So let's talk a little bit about your other love, which you've done for a while, which is stand-up comedy in San Francisco. Now, you actually were part of a Comics Against Evil comedy tour to unseat President Bush at that time.
We tried to unseat that administration, that regime. We sought a regime change through humor, But
why in the world would you want to unseat Bush? I mean, Bush is like the beautiful, beautiful gift to all comics, and you want to unseat it.
I was torn. As a comedian, I was torn. Durst brought that up like he was a gift to the comedy world. He's conflicted about it. He really nailed it with that. But this does come back to cartooning. Dan Ferraro, who draws Bizarro, had written a book called The Three Little Pigs by the White House, and that's B-U-I, by the White House, and it was kind of a PR tour for that, and he brought along Jeff Kreisler and me and Brian Mallow, and I helped produce the tour and book a lot of the gigs and do the PR, and it was a blast. We did it for 6 months on and off, and we started the tour in Texas just to make some trouble.
Wow. So how did Texas react to that?
Boston, of course, it went well. And we did morning radio. Man, Dan is so funny. He knows his, he's been pushing buttons for 20 years. He makes fun of the NRA and the religious right, and, he's pro everything that the right hates. And he's like, watch this. So they're like, what else do you talk? Oh, it's like, and the nutty morning DJ is like, so what else do you talk about on the tour? Watch this. We talk a lot about gun control. The phone lines light up like you couldn't have choreographed it any better. Like Mr. Perot and gun control, and they just.
That's perfect.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So
hook, line, and sinker. I'm going to be playing a few or putting a few of your cartoon strips up here, your single page strips. Okay, the first one is going up right now. Okay, it's why don't you explain a little bit about what these are?
This one ran a few weeks ago. You know, the strip is in black and white for the most part. Once in a while I'm lucky where I can trick my friends into coloring it, but this one I just thought because it deals with the abyss would be purely black and white.
I left the whole family standing just staring.
At the, at the empty screen. I mean, it just seemed to, I don't know when it came to me, but it just, you know, some of these big screen TVs, when they're not on, it's just a big black abyss. And I was like, what's the difference between watching bad programming and an empty screen? You know,
I think the empty screen is better.
It is, and all you get, you know, the other stuff is like a high-pitched whine. So I just thought it'd be so fun if they're, you know, you're watching the Abyss Network, and it's literally just a black screen.
Excellent. This one is from the Chronicle Thursday paper.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here we go. Second one. This looks like a Liechtenstein.
It is a spoof of Liechtenstein, like I peeled it off your shirt there.
Yeah, know? It is.
So this is. I'm proud of how this turned out art-wise. I copied a Liechtenstein and added. You know, they were usually like, you know, what's Brad up to? His phone's busy. You know, that kind of thing. And I just wanted her to have something. I like the fact that it was almost anachronistic, where it's a modern thing like Facebook with this purely 60s image. I love stuff like that.
And that's a Bindi dot formation. That's how that's formed.
Wow, you know with the dot matrix, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was big in the comics world for a long time, and you know they don't sell it anymore. I actually bought some from someone.
Very cool.
Who had it in a closet.
I like that. Okay, the next one we're going to is why don't you explain this one for us?
These two were rejected, and I said, you know, as long as it's public access. As long as it's public access, these actually can be seen finally, because you know we don't have standards. It's probably too small to be read.
Why don't you go and read this one?
You're closer to it.
Okay, sure. It says, last night I dreamt that I was able to combine my 3 favorite things: chocolate, peanut butter, and breasts.
And under Larissa's logo it says?
Peanut butter D cups.
Aw, yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I know if we were selling these, you probably could sell it. The next one we're not going to read, but you can kind of give us the gist of it. There you go.
Oh, really? You don't want to read it? Is it just too awful?
Yeah, no, we can't say that word so many times.
I sent this to my editor mostly. He's a nice, really nice guy, but mostly I want to see what the rejection. I knew this wouldn't run, but I wanted to just see the rejection, how politely and how succinctly he would say no. And generally he'll just write, "Do you have anything else?" So a lot of them I'll just make for me to amuse me or my friends, and then they're like, "Do you have anything else?" Which means, in parentheses, there's no way in the world we're going to run these horrible cartoons.
So you just do it to mess with people.
I mean, I like having them because I know somebody, I can put it out there and somebody will get a laugh. So it's not a waste of ink or time, but it just, you know, gets made and it gets enjoyed if not printed.
So tell me a little bit about what the life of a cartoonist comic is. You get up at like the break of noon, I guess.
I actually don't sleep that well, so I'm usually up 6 and I go and draw.
Really?
Yeah.
At 6 in the morning. Who do you find at 6 in the morning to draw?
Who do you think you find at 6 in the morning?
That's a good point.
The jokes write themselves.
Absolutely. Wait a minute, you said a one-man show?
I'll be at the Commonwealth Club on Market Street.
Excellent. When?
Thursday, August 27th. It's a show about food. It's about an hour long, and the show is called Let Stand for About an Hour. And it's about food. It's purely a show about food. It's got stories about food, cartoons that deal with food.
Excellent. You're making me hungry. You didn't bring any food with you today, huh?
Didn't bring anything.
No. Again, when does your cartoon strip run, so that we know?
Thursday in the 96-hour section of the paper, and then online at sfgate.com. And just put in surveillance caricatures, provided you can get those 2 words right.
If you can spell those.
If you can spell it, you got a strip.
Hey, thank you very much, Michael Capozolla. Look for him on stage and in the Chronicle magazine as well.